the first speaker. Mike, do you want it as the first speaker or everybody all at once?
It's your call.
All right, well, let's just do first speaker. So you are up first, Mike, and
Okay.
you're going to be speaking to us about the Guatemala Literacy Program.
Good, thank you. Okay, so the Guatemala Literacy is something we've supported for the last 2 years. It's a worldwide initiative to help people in Guatemala. I have a 4-minute video. We're going to explains it to you a lot more detail than I could possibly do. Financially, we provided them, I believe, with $1,000 last Rotary year and $500 this Rotary year. It's a country I'm familiar with because I've been down to Guatemala on a Rotary mission. I was down for about a week, and I can't believe it, but the leader that took me down there, Aldo, was talking to me the other night and said, you know, Mike, it's 10 years since we were in Guatemala, so things just move right on. So I'd like to bring your attention to this little video.
¿Crees que para eso es importante? My first time here, it was an international project, and I thought I found the secret of life is what you do for others. And it was the neatest feeling that lasted for a long time, and I couldn't wait to come back to Guatemala and do it again.
Guatemala has one of the lowest literacy rates in the Western Hemisphere. In some regions, nearly 2 out of 3 people cannot read or write. This isn't surprising when you consider over 90% of rural schools lack textbooks and library books, and most have no computers. Without these resources, Guatemalan school children graduate unprepared to get good jobs and break out of poverty. The Guatemala Literacy Project aims to change this by not only providing books and computers to students today, but also by ensuring that the program will help young people for generations to come. Here's how it works. Rotary clubs in North America are matched with needy schools in Guatemala through the help of Guatemala Rotarians and the nonprofit organization Cooperative for Education. The clubs raise funds to purchase textbooks, reading materials, and computers for schools. 100% of GLP donations go directly to supporting the project, and not 1 cent goes to administration or fundraising. But this is just the beginning of the story. Once the resources are delivered, the community takes ownership of the program. Students pay a small user fee for the books and the computers. That way, by the time these tools need to be replaced, the school will have enough money to do so and the program becomes self-sustaining. This simple concept ensures that the program will survive in perpetuity and empowers the local people to take charge of their own success. Want to be a part of something great? Want to make a difference in the lives of countless young people? Here's how. Support the GLP with a donation from your Rotary Club this year. GLP Rotarians will guide you through the Rotary Matching Grant process so that your contribution can be matched. Then come to Guatemala yourself to see your dollars in action. Each year, dozens of Rotarians from all over North America travel to Guatemala to participate in GLP projects. Deliver books, inaugurate computer centers, enjoy Rotary Fellowship with Guatemalan Rotarians. These incredible trips can change your life and provide a great opportunity to live the credo, service above self. For more information on being part of the Guatemala Literacy Project, go to www.guatemalaliteracy.org.
Okay, so as I said, we've supported that last year and again this year, and the funds go to the Canadian Partner Club. This year, it's the one out of Windsor, and the funds work their way through in the matching grant program. So it's a nice way that we help out.
Great.
So Shelley.
Yep. Okay, so next up, thanks, Mike. We have Barb is going to speak about the El Salvador Mochilos Backpack Program.
Okay. So unmute yourself, Barb. Barb, you're still muted. Barb, you're still muted, Barb. You've muted your voice. Okay, there you go.
Okay, just a minute.
Now
Okay,
we're...
I'll start again.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, this is weird. I'm looking at myself and talking to myself, and that really isn't too unusual. Anyway, nobody's laughing, but I guess I wouldn't hear it. All right. Okay, I want to thank the board and the membership for making this generous donation to the El Salvador project. I'll just give you a little bit of background about El Salvador. It is the smallest country in Central America. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, the area is 21,000, I have to look at this, 21,000 square kilometers with a population of 6.5 million. And a third of that population lives in the capital city of San Salvador. So you can imagine how crowded that is, compared to British Columbia, which has 944 million square kilometers with a population of 5 million. So that gives you some idea of just how jammed up everybody is. And of course, this density has led to a lot of poverty and crime. The crime is usually gang related and making San Salvador one of the most dangerous cities in the world, actually. In fact, in April, I think it was April, 50 people were killed, murdered in 3 days. So if you can just imagine that. And that was probably in the city. And then, of course, there's the hurricanes and bringing on terrible flooding and mudslides and people losing their homes and the volcanoes. El Salvador sits on the Ring of Fire. And so all this, of course, has created a pretty very sad environment for the people living there. And then add to that COVID, which has really devastated the country. As a matter of fact, the healthcare system is in danger of collapsing. People are dying at home before the ambulance even gets there. And so that's just a little bit of background. The club we've been supporting for I think the last 4 or 5 years now is the Rotario, Club Rotario San Salvador Cuscatlan. Cuscatlan is a suburb of San Salvador, just outside, and that's where a lot of the Rotarians live. It was a very small town originally, but it's too dangerous to be right in the city. And of course, everyone living with gated gardens and locks and chains and glass and wired walls, and nobody can, it's not a place where you have to go for a stroll around the block. So just to give you a little bit of the feeling of how it is there, for those who have never traveled to a developing country. I personally worked with the members of the club for 10 years, participating in Interact missions. We were usually a group of 15 to 18 people, including teenagers. And that was an experience in itself. So anyway, I did have I was lucky enough to participate in, oh, am I going too long? Mike, you look concerned. I was lucky to participate in a backpack distribution program, and that was pretty exciting just to see the joy on the faces of all the children. It was amazing, actually. The backpacks are filled with snacks, personal health care items, books and dictionary. I'm trying to remember what was in it. Toothpaste and everything that, you know, just really, pencils, pens, etc. And the club has been working on this project for 13 years now, and they have delivered 187,682 backpacks to children in El Salvador, which is absolutely wonderful. This year, unfortunately, the schools have now been closed until the end of December. I just received a letter from the club there, and I will read a little bit of it. Okay. This year, we are very disappointed as we have decided not to do the campaign for this year. Monetarily speaking, Rotary clubs, businesses, organizations, and benefactors do not have many funds. As you may imagine, the Salvadoran economy has been hit hard by the pandemic. Instead, we are channeling all help and funds to alleviate food needs to as many families who lost jobs, families that do their living with their daily earnings. We are supporting the Salvadoran Food Bank program. They work in alliance with the food businesses, so they duplicate the funds and give out food and hygiene projects to help families in need. Please let me know if your club will be interested in supporting this program for the year. Next year, we will pick up our campaign as we know how important education is for a country like ours. Thank you for caring for our people, and give our thanks to your club members. Anyway, so that's the story, and I'm hoping that everyone will send this donation to help them with their food bank, and I think that's about it.
Right.
I think that's about it. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, maybe I had one more thing. Did I? Oh. No, that's it. Sorry. Okay.
Linda, you are up to speak about the Cambodia Rotary Wheels for Learning program.
Thanks. I'm just going to share screen. You see that? Can you see that?
No, just,
Oh, no.
yeah.
1 moment, sorry.
So if you hit screen share, bottom green.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get back here. I can see the screen. Okay. Bottom green.
In your Zoom window, you have a bottom green, you got a green arrow pointing up, a green box with an arrow in it.
good? There you are, share screen. Okay. Yep, I hit that, Mike.
Okay.
Here we go, just a sec. Try that.
There, looks like you got it now.
Good. Okay, just gotta find my.
I just
Sorry.
got to find your little presentation there.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
Wait a
that's
minute, let me
sort of your,
just,
you
let me
want,
put-
yeah, from beginning.
How's that?
That looks good.
Okay, good.
You did it.
Sorry?
Yeah, you did it. That's good.
Oh, thank you. So I'm pleased to talk about the Rotary Wheels for Learning. Our club supported it for the last 3 years, actually. I think the first year there was $500 of each. Of the last 2 years, there's been $1,000. And it actually makes a big difference. And from participating in the last 2 years, I've seen it firsthand, the difference it makes. Rotary, excuse me, Rotary Wheels for Learning is a humanitarian project that was actually started by the Rotary Club of Ravenhurst about 12 years ago. And a lot of clubs from across the district participate. The team is made up of Rotarians from across the district. We've had, I think in this picture you can see Steve Medley. He was past district governor from Huntsville, I believe. And other members here from Barrie, Minden clubs, Ottawa, Huntsville, Ravenhurst. Yeah, so North Bay. So it's great. It brings Rotarians together from across the district and also friends of Rotary. So just to show you that. Actually, and I should mention, Jane and Frank joined in on the trip last year. So it's great to have some other Collingwood Rotarians helping out as well. So why Cambodia? Cambodia's had a brutal history, and it's been devastating on the population. In the 70s, under the Khmer Rouge rule, the population in the cities was actually deliberately moved to the countryside to work on farms. Out of the population of just 8 million people, it's estimated about 1 to 2 million people starved to death, died of disease, or were murdered. And when you go there, there's signs of that, like the killing fields and all kinds of things. So the history is really recent history, and it's had a, you feel it when you're there too. Like people, it's just, you just feel it. That's all I can say. One of the significant long-term impacts of the genocide is though the lack of general infrastructures, hospitals, schools, things like that. So wherever they are, there's a great distance for the people to travel to get that sort of assistance. So as a result, the need for helping kids get to school was identified, and that's how the bicycles, Rotary Wheels for Learning, came about. Oh, 1 second. Oh, whoops. Go back. Okay. What I did there. Oh shoot. I just want to see because it's the goals. 1 second, folks. Okay, that's right. It was important. There's a. I just wanted to show you when the team goes over. This is the map of Cambodia, and these stars are where the main spots that the hotels we stay in. So there's 4 areas that we sort of work out of over the days, and then these green ones, there's 8 distribution sites that we travel to. So you can see it's a great distance. We go across the country, and not just helping one area. There's the needs are everywhere. About 8 sites are identified each year. So just to give you an idea. The Rotary Wheels for the project goals, it's important. They initially started just with the bicycles to build and repair and distribute them across the to distribute the bikes to help so the children in the rural areas could get to school. It wasn't safe for them to go to school. The shortcuts across fields and that, there were still live landmines. You know, they were going through jungles and that. So this makes a big difference in their lives. And the other main goal that sort of came in the last, actually 2 years or so, is other needs were identified from being there. And that's where the WASH projects and things have started. They needed clean water, and we've been working on that for the last couple of years. This will give you an idea of, so for the bike distribution, this is what arrives at a distribution site. Is the bikes are actually purchased in Phnom Penh, the capital, for about $37 US or 50 Canadian. And the bikes are loaded on a truck, travel across rough roads, country roads, and they arrive they're dropped off literally at the distribution sites where we hand out the bikes. The team members get to work, as you can see in the side photo here on the right. The kids are all around, they're watching, they come early, and they're watching us take the bikes and work on getting them in some order so that they're functional and able to, the kids at the end of the day are actually able to ride the bikes away. So how it works is that on site, the team's divided into, basically there's like workstations, or it's sort of assembly style. And some people are paired up and they're doing parts. Others are repairing tires. Others are putting brakes, fixing brakes. Others are putting bells and whistles on. And at the end of the day, show you this top left one, they're all lined up as they're finished. We start with 1 bike's completed, and we just keep going till there's basically 100 bikes by the end of the day that we've worked on and are ready to give out to the kids at the end of the day. So that's the bikes. You can see, just want to here. So the top left is the bikes are all completed. It looks good at this point. So you, from the truck, from them being unloaded to finished bikes that the kids are so excited about receiving. Here in the bottom right here, the kids are lining up to receive their bikes. They give their thumbprint on a certificate saying they are who they are. They take their certificate and basically line up, and one by one we give them their bikes. Before all that, though, there is an official sort of ceremony with all the dignitaries and both government and educational dignitaries, and it's a really big deal. There's speeches, and they always have a special thank you for Rotary for the great work that this does for the kids to improve the kids' lives. Yeah, and up here on the right, well, they are thrilled. They're just actually they wait all day, and when they get their bike, it's pretty big. It feels great as a Rotarian too to see their how excited they are about receiving their bikes. I think I have more pictures. Oh, I cut back all my pictures because I thought it'd take too long. Here's here's a picture. I think it was last year's team. And I'm not sure if Jane's in this one, and Frank, no, not sure why. But anyways, we always do at each build, the team takes a picture. This is the backdrop of where setting up a site to work on the bikes is always a trick to find enough sort of a good space where we all can work on them and then have the ceremony at the end of the day. But here's some pretty happy faces. We actually worked all day, but you know, everybody's pleased with all the work. Just to give you an idea, if anyone's interested in signing up, it's 23 days each year, except for 2021, of course, because of COVID. The cost, everything's included. There's transportation all across the country, airfare, hotels. About 20 Rotarians and friends go. And we receive a little bit of training in the hotel for the upon arrival, first night or first or second day. A little bit on bike repairs and things. So you don't have to have any experience. There's lots to do, whether it's giving out parts or whether it's fixing brakes, you learn quick. Yeah, and I just want, again, the support that our Rotary Club has provided has made a big difference. I've seen it firsthand. It's incredible. A little bit goes a long way. If I just want to mention too that if anyone's interested, you can donate. Bicycles, $50
Is
a bike.
everybody frozen?
Nope.
No.
Good. You're okay, Linda.
Okay. You can purchase a bike through Canada Gives, or there's other ways as well. But just wanted to mention too, it's a great substitute for other gifts. Sometimes it's for people that have everything. It's a nice thought to give one in someone's name. We're also starting a lot of wash projects now. Water filtration systems, toilets, all the things, so that the kids can be. It was yeah, I wanted to tell you more about that, but the hygiene was a problem we discovered when we're giving the bikes out. So now we've been funds are being collected to develop more wash projects, so that, and they're actually benefit not just the kids at school, but also to the local communities. And yeah, it's making a big difference. So each year we're identifying more things that we can help out with. Okay, and one of the other is the refurbished. We do take over other supplies, and for example, in these baskets, you can see we actually add toothbrushes and toothpaste, where in the formal ceremony, as part of that, we give dental hygiene lessons, sort of how to brush your teeth. We have a dental assistant that's attended each year, so she's been able to do that. And thanks to, even Dr. Zane Sager in our club, his practice has donated toothbrushes and some toothpaste and things the last couple of years that we'll be able to teach to the children as they ride away on their bikes, and hopefully sure that makes a difference. And some of the other things we collect are refurbished laptops, children's books, school supplies, health supplies, stuffed toys to give out to some of the siblings or kids that aren't receiving a bike. And we also collect some jewelry and things that we also give out to the moms that are there all day, and they appreciate some of I just collect it and yeah, give it out, and yes, they appreciate that too. So I'm just trying to think. How am I doing time wise? I could go on forever.
I think you're pretty well over your time.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. Thank you very much, and thanks to the club again. And yeah, any questions, please see me. And if anyone's interested in going on the trip, not next year, but years after, there's going to be lots of opportunity.
Great. Thanks, Linda. Okay, Karen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm speaking to you on behalf of HEART, and I bring thanks from Steve Wallace and our sister club, the Rotary Club of Wasaga Beach. The HEART project, many of you heard Steve's talk earlier this year, but just a quick review. HEART is Hispaniola Humanitarian Assistance and Relief Team, which works with impoverished the population in Dominican Republic. There are 1 million people in the Dominican Republic of Haitian origin, some 3 generations now, who have no status in the Dominican Republic. So they live in terrible circumstances. They have no access to education, healthcare. They have no right to vote. And anyway, pretty sad circumstances. Steve Wallace has been leading missions down there, and Mike and I had the good fortune to join him on his 15th mission last January. And I know that Kim Giffen has gone in the past, and Jane and Frank were going on a similar mission. Interestingly, there are a number of missions that go down to the Dominican Republic. While we were there was a group from WestJet who were going down to help with building homes. And Steve, at this point in time, I asked him, well, what's happening in this COVID era? And he's meeting, or at least meeting on Zoom once a week with many of the leaders of these missions that go on to the Dominican Republic. So presently, things are very active in terms of helping out in the Dominican Republic despite this COVID era. He's actually organizing a mission for 2021, but realizes, no, we really cannot go until a vaccine is available. So it's not looking pretty unlikely that there'll be a mission for next year. But they're focusing on two things right now. One is food insecurity, which is really, really prevalent, obviously. And funds from Rotarians and Friends of Rotarians have helped to build up food supplies in some of the villages that we worked in. And the second thing they do is they do a lot of medical interventions. So they said they've had about 24 medical interventions since COVID began. And they've basically, these interventions have saved lives. As far as what our money will do, one really neat thing is while I was there, I worked on the medical side. And I worked with a doctor, Dr. Lopez, who was finishing her residency. She was in her 4th year residency. And in fact, she finished her residency and qualified as a family doctor in June of this year. And Hart has been able to hire her to go in and work in the villages, which I think is a wonderful thing that they're getting local medical help. And so our money will be, of $1,000 will be dedicated to hiring Dr. Lopez to work in these villages over the next couple months in September and October, and also to provide the salary for a social worker. So anyway, that's really it that's going on. If anybody has any questions, it's well worth going on a mission like this. Certainly, we certainly see how the other half live. So thank you again, and that's it.
Thanks, Karen.
Short and sweet.
Jane is going to speak to us about the Laos Adopt a Village.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I'd just like to begin by saying thank you for the support for Adopt a Village in Laos. A little bit of the background of Laos. I'm not going to show a video that I have because we're running out of time. So I'll just speak about it. Laos is the poorest country in all of Southeast Asia. It's the 10th poorest country in the world. It's a Marxist state, even to this day. Right now, their borders are completely closed to the world. We can still get money in there, but they're totally closed. Adopt a Village in Laos is the brainchild of a man called Steve Rutledge, who came and spoke to our club, I guess, over 2 years ago now. We were so taken with the project that we went there to work on it. And basically it started, it was all about water, and not just for individual houses or little hand washing stations, but clean water for entire remote villages. And I mean really remote villages way up the Mekong River. I spoke with Steve Rutledge last night. He is from the club in Oshawa, and he's got the support of various Rotary clubs across Canada. And right now it is, he has mentioned, actually, he's requested that he do a Zoom meeting with our club, at which time he will show you a full video and tell you all about the various projects that he has got going on there. He personally pays for a man there, a Laotian guy who's lovely. His name is Sipan, who, because of Zoom now, can join our meetings. So he would really like to, so if we could, as quickly as possible, put him on a Zoom agenda, because it's 12 hours difference in time. So see, when it's 7:30 our time, it's 7:30 in the evening there, and CPAN would be available to come and talk to us. Basically, the project that began, I'll just show you this one photo if you can see it. I think you'll remember these water purification systems. This is how the whole project began years ago with Steve. Each one of these units costs $120. And I know several members from our club, after Steve came and spoke to us that year, did provide a water unit. There's no mechanics to this at all. Every single family in a village gets one of these water filters. But the problem is they have to get the water into the villages. So what started as just a water system like this has now morphed into getting the pipelines into the villages, which is what is happening. I spoke with Steve quite a long time last night, and I have a bit of exciting news about him. In June, District 7070, which is the Toronto district from Etobicoke to Picton and north to Uxbridge, honored him with an award called, I hadn't heard of this award before, it's called the Dr. Bob Scott Award. Karen, you might know about this award. It's an award for excuse me, I have to read this. It's an award for disease prevention. And Bill Gates was awarded this 5 years ago. And I think it has to do with the fact that hundreds of thousands of people in these villages are now have clean water. The disease prevention has been incredible because the diarrhea has stopped because of the clean water. So he just was awarded that last June. So his projects really are outstanding. He has 3 projects. One is focused on student sponsorship for very, very clever students that are particularly handpicked. One is the villages, and he has 3 villages this year that he is providing clean water to. So there can be 1,000 people, 2,000 people in a village. And so multiply that, he's providing clean water to like 8,000, 9,000 people next year. And this third project, which he's had to abandon for 2021 because of COVID, is feminine hygiene. It's on hold. So that's the 3 arms of his work. His target for this year in terms of the water, the little water filters that I showed you, is only 400. Last year, he distributed about 1,200 of them. But this year, he only has, because of COVID, he's reduced it back to 400. They're $120 each. And anyone that would like to sponsor one of those would be well appreciated. Half of that amount has already been raised, and it's all by personal donations. Clubs don't typically do that. Our club has done that. His budget for the 3 villages that he's working on this year, his total budget is $57,600 to provide the pipelines that the villages need. And Rotary clubs across Canada, there's about 7 Rotary clubs that are participating in this. And the area that he's focusing on this year is in the Punjung Mountains up in the north of Laos, which is actually the area that Frank and I were in. We spent 3 weeks there on this project. I guess it was a year and a half ago. And it just blew us away. We couldn't believe the difference that these water systems are making. So he's got these 3 villages. And then the other thing he's doing, just to keep this brief, I've got lots of information which I'm not sharing. He's also taken on the project this year of a secondary school. It has 600 students, and it's an orphanage, and he wants to sponsor that this year. So he's committed to doing that. And he's drilling well. Each of these villages, by the way, involves drilling wells. So I'm just, because of time, I'm keeping it very brief, and he'll come and speak to us on Zoom and have lots of slides and things to show you. But I just want to thank the club for their support of this project, because every little bit counts, especially now with COVID. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. John and Cora, we're running here on time, but John and Cora are going to speak to us about the Philippines Back to School program. They have a little video for us too.
Okay, what we'll do is, if it's okay with them, we'll run the video first, if that's all right. And here we go.
Soaring high, touching lives, achieving excellence. Welcome to PAHO National High School Senior High School Department.
Good afternoon. Rotary Club of Collingwood, South Victoria Bay, and the Rotary Club of Mactan, District 2860. I'm Evelyn Sagan, the school principal of PAHO Senior High School Department of PAHO National High School. Would like to ask your kind generosity to help us in the completion of our mini hotel laboratory. This project aims to address some of the basic objectives towards the completion of the mini hotel laboratory of PAHO National High School, Senior High School Department in Lapu-Lapu City, Philippines. Kindly assist us in the purchase of cabinets, beds, linens, furnitures, and other needs of the hotel housekeeping and restaurant management course introduction. The Philippines has recently adopted the K-12 curriculum in which the senior high school was introduced. Despite of the government's effort and budget for the program, most schools were unprepared for the additional structures for laboratories, home economics, technical skills rooms, carpentry room with its materials and facilities. Most schools administrators are making partners with different stakeholders, such as the Rotary and other non-government organizations, to fulfill the needs of the school teaching program. This is a one-time donation, but will benefit the community well because each year, a good number of students are enrolled in this strand. The program aims to prepare the learners with the basic skills and trainings on the basic tools that will equip them for their future employment. When one is gainfully employed, the whole family will benefit. We will be working with the Rotary Club of Mactan District 3860 in the Philippines, which will operate the Balik Aral Incorporated, an NGO set up for the purpose of assisting Rotarians in community assessment, monitoring and mentoring, and fundraising. The Rotary Club of Collingwood, South Victoria Bay, and the Rotary Club of Mactan will provide regular reports, constant communication through email, updates of photos through club's Facebook page. Rotarians will conceptualize, plan, conduct surveys, and process grant application. They will also help identify the community that needs support and implement project as per outlined in the application. Project Implementing Club will perform the canvassing and purchasing of the items to be procured and safeguard the proper stewardship of the grant funds. Rotarians will make frequent visits and make a project report to the club and to the district. Rotarians will help promote the same program. Again, in behalf of PAHO National High School, Senior High School Department, we would like to express with grateful heart of your grand gestures for sponsoring materials for the completion of our mini hotel laboratory that will serve as a training ground of our students. With this, we assure you to maximize the items and making education as great as possible. Once again, thank you, and may God continue to bless you abundantly.
Tell me, Michael, and you want me to speak.
Right now is good, John.
Okay, Jim.
Okay, Cora is responsible for all the problems we have. In 2005, she took me to the Philippines to meet the family. However, Rotary Club saw differently and carried us to a city dump. In the year after 2006, the Back to School was formed. I got 5 Rotary clubs to support us in the Philippines. I wrote them Back to School has been doing wonderful jobs ever since. We are still educating way over 1,000 kids a year and bring them back into bread-giving professions for the whole family. This mini hotel, which is a request on the district grant, is for us another tool in our skill training program. Last year we did 24 sewing machines, trained seamstresses. Here, the mini hotel, we can prepare children to work in the resort business on the island of Cebu. There are about 2 or 3 dozen big organizations in Cebu, and they're looking badly for trained help. Because you should not forget that a young person, a girl, when they come to us, they maybe never have seen a bed. If you know what the poverty is in the Philippines, it's unbelievable, but we make a difference. Thank you for your support. And the other video was on our
Partner.
On our partners on the
Back to school.
alternative learning system, where we educate over 1,000 kids every year in the alternative learning system. It's still going. It is at the moment all closed because of COVID-19, but we have done this. We are teaching virally to all these kids, and it is very, very successful. And we're happy that it keep going. Thank you for your support. Always, we will be there. And the Rotary Club of Collingwood, South Georgia Bay is a big name in the Philippines. Thank you. Good morning. Have a good day.
Sure, why, John?
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm very moved by all the stories today, and what a wonderful cause, and bringing awareness to each and every story. Thanks everyone very much for taking the time to do this morning.
Okay.
There you go, Michael, you're on time.
Mike, we can't see you or hear you.
Mike has left the building.
Karen went to check on him, make sure he's still there.
That's a quiet meeting.
There, can you hear me now?
Very quiet.
We can.
Am I back now?
You're good.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sorry about that little glitch.